When I was in my 20s, one of the things that Alan put me on a path to was personal development. You know, read a book a month, go to events, listen to cassette tapes back then of motivational stuff for motivation, for inspiration, for strategies, for tactics of what to do to raise your level of skill and knowledge. So I went to this event and I brought up this challenge that I had with my father. And the instructor said, like, when are you gonna forgive him? I said, never. I'm never gonna forgive him. Fuck that, forgive him. There's so much pain. And the instructor said, well, if you're never gonna forgive him, then you're the one taking the poison pill, hoping he's gonna die or he's gonna be affected. He says, you don't forgive him for him. You forgive him so you can move on. That was like, aha, number one. And then he said, why don't you ask your father why he did it?
Whoa.
Like, why was he like that? And so when I mustered up enough courage on the phone with my father, I said, Dad, like, how come you've never said, I love you? He says, well, my father never said he loved me. That's not what a man says. But you say to my sister, he says, well, that's okay to say to a girl or to a woman. He said, why did you hit me so much? Why did you? He says, because you were being a bad boy. I said, but why didn't you talk to me? Like, why didn't you just talk? And he says, well, because my father hit me too. I had to put you in your place. I had to teach you the right way to stop the behavior. And it was at that moment that I realized he just didn't know better. That's what he learned, was the process to try and help me. So he's not a malicious human being. He's a kind, loving, caring man. But he was taught to get compliance hit, so the pain will cause you not to do it again. And in theory, okay, understanding the brain science today, it does work in some cases, but especially with children, even adults, the physical and mental and emotional trauma that's created when somebody who loves you also inflicts so much pain to you, there's confusion. The neural network in the brain says, I love this person, my mother, my father, my best friend, whatever. And then there's so much pain associated. Now we have these patterns in our brains of this love and fucking hate. Love and pain. And it's very, very confusing. But after this dialogue with him, I started telling him, I love you. And it took 3 years. I used to call him every week. I started telling him, I love you, Dad. Hang up. I love you, Dad. Hang up. I love you, Dad. Hang up. Then one day he says to me, I love you too, boy. And then he has never not said I love you to me, my brother, or my sister since then.